Welcome to Ken's Corner Podcast, Season 4.
Hey everyone, it's been a long time, like a real long time. I think our last release of Leaf Fan Panel was October 21st. We got most of our team in. Joining us today, of course, is Joe from Sports Timeout. Guys, say hi to Joe.
What's going on, Joe?
Hey, gent.
Phil here is actually with me on Ken's Corner Podcast, so he's being famous today under the headband or Ken's Corner Podcast official headquarters right here in Stouffville. Everyone say hi to Phil.
What's going on, Phil?
Hey, Phil.
Can't see you, bud.
Roll call all the way from Thunder Bay. Our friend JT. I don't know what the hell happened over there. I don't know if it's snowing in Calgary yet, but I bet you it will soon. From Calgary.
Oh, yeah.
Buddies from Toronto. George out there in Calgary.
How's it going, guys?
Hey, Georgie.
And from the deep heart of Leaf Nation, let's welcome Gord from downtown Toronto.
What's going on, guys?
Hi, Gord.
Okay, first up, I want to celebrate with you guys that big 30-28 win by the Toronto Argonauts yesterday. Yes, we lost our quarterback, Chad Kelly, but the refs helped us out anyway with that ball right near the end of the game for that passer interference, so we could just run the timeout after that. Guys, how do you feel about that big Argo win yesterday?
I think it was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. They pulled it out in the end for him. Arbuckle played very well when he came in. I think it was fantastic.
Everyone?
Yeah, it was a great game. Obviously, that pass interference call at the end was pretty pivotal, allowing us to run it, you mentioned. Pretty blatant, but he was draped all over him before the ball got there. So tough on Montreal, but good for us.
Joe?
It's just nice to see the Argos back in the Grey Cup because it makes Grey Cup that much more exciting for us guys because we're diehard Toronto fans. So great to see them back. A little worried about their secondary. That's kind of been their bugaboo all year, defending. But they're on a roll, and you know what? Maybe things happen for a reason. I feel for Chad Kelly. He's had a heck of a strange year, but Arbuckle, this is his chance now.
Yeah, you got it. JT?
Well, you don't want to hear from me. I'm a Ticat fan.
You're right, we don't.
Well,
So
sucks to
your team
be
ended
you
up
for about
exactly
10
where
years.
they belonged at the bottom of the division.
Yeah,
Austin,
you got that Montreal Canadian feeling over there then, not winning in a long time.
yeah.
George, how's it feeling out in Calgary? Kadeem Carey comes from Calgary and helps the Argos make it to the Grey Cup finals.
Well, I didn't get to see much of it, but you were updating me on the scores all the way through, and it's good to see. It's good to see Argos in the Grey Cup. I mean, I don't think they get as much fan base as a Western team like a Stamps, or I don't know if they get that much fans, but out here it's a pretty important game out here, and it's good to see that Toronto's in the Grey Cup.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I just want to say I'm starting to grow my Movember here. So I don't know if anyone's noticed. JT's, everyone sees George. You're all shaved up. Good job.
Yeah, I had to clean up a little bit.
Hit it with a whippersnipper.
Your microphone, but I can give you breathing just a little bit. That's why I muted you a little bit there. Okay, let's just go
I
around.
didn't even notice you did, Ken.
Oh, okay. I got pushy fingers sometimes. Let's just go around the room and let's talk about. Joe, we did a episode of Sports Timeout not too long ago, and you were just ripping into the Leafs. And I told you, Joe, just settle down. How are you going to feel when we win 5 of the next 6? And guess what? We won 5 of the next 6. Glass half full wins the game. What is your thoughts on that, Joe?
It does, and guys, yeah, Ken did have to talk me off the ledge. I'm not going to lie. That Columbus and St. Louis game back to back after the way they started the season just had me perplexed, and I had to keep reminding myself that it's only, what was it, game 4 or 5 or something, and it's going to take them, 20, 25 games, a quarter of the season at least, to get used to the system and how to win. And I certainly think that for sure, the last week or so, they have shown that they're finding a different way to win. And when you lose Auston Matthews, and you can still defend like they've been defending, and I'm going to say it's all about goaltending. I'm so glad we don't have Samsonov in net, because remember what we were going through this time last year with that guy.
Yeah.
And we'll talk more hopefully about the goaltending. But if Anthony Stolarz isn't the real deal, I don't know who is.
Well, actually, we're going to talk about Anthony Stolarz right now. And George, we're going to start with your opinion, because I know you're a very vocal supporter of Anthony since the start of training camp.
Yeah, I got his back. He's been doing great, and I'm ready for him to take number 1.
He is number 1, no question. It's a done deal.
That's good. That's good.
I was gonna say the same thing. I think he's taken the number 1 spot
Yeah.
right away from Joseph Woll. The way he's played has been absolutely phenomenal. I think the whole team recently has been showing him that if you have the defense in front of him, just let him make the stops he's making. He's playing phenomenal right now. Absolutely phenomenal.
He's giving us that big save in those crucial moments of the game that a lot of our past goalies have not. With Samsonov, he was always going to give, unfortunately, that one soft one. It seems like Stolarz is not going to do that. He's very aware, puck aware. His hockey IQ is top of the charts. Like reaching in there with the guy on top of his blocker, taking his blocker off to pick up the puck with his bare hand. You know what I mean? It's just he's willing to do anything at any point to make sure that puck does not cross the line.
JT, you're the last for us to hear. I know you're a Hamilton Tiger Cat fan, but we're not going to exclude you. We're going to let you talk about Anthony Stolarz.
I think Stolarz came in as the backup to Woll. I think Woll went down because he's pretty fragile. So he went down again. I don't think that kid's ever played a full season, but anyway, it was Woll's team to lose or spot to lose, and he lost it. I'm pretty sure Stolarz is now taking it over from him, and it's now Stolarz to lose. And like Joe said, he and Phil, I mean, he come up with the big saves when we need the big saves. Anderson didn't do that. You can go back, and we've never had a goalie that keeps making that big save, and so far Stolarz is doing it. And then even Woll comes back and he's showing record numbers as well, 839 save percentages, and I don't know. We got a duo. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah, Joe, I was going to ask you, were you impressed with Joseph Woll's play last night, and do you think that he can continue remaining in our lineup?
Oh, absolutely. I think, you're making a big save, but you're also stopping the ones you're supposed to stop. And that's more important. You're not letting in that one where you just go, oh, you should have had that. I don't remember seeing that one on Stolarz yet this year. Joseph Woll, in his first game or two, he'll only get better. I like the fact they're easing him in. I mean, he only had 21 shots last night. So a good confidence boost for him. And he's also got Stolarz to look up to and give him a little bit of something to aspire to, push him a little bit to be better, as opposed to looking over going, well, I got Samson off beside me. I got to be better than this guy. So I kind of like the way it's playing out right now. I think both goalies will be fine. And I like the way the Leafs are handling Woll. They're not throwing him to the wolves and expecting him to stop 40, 50 shots a game. And we're not even giving up 40, 50 shots a game, which is really a nice change.
Well, it's nice that you say that, because I think we're finally starting to play Craig Berube hockey. Kind of boring. The game just goes on. Not many shots, but hey, we score the goals when we need to, because we do have a talented team as far as scoring. We all know that. George, this is something that I heard last night on a TikTok live, actually. Sports. I can't remember the whole thing, but anyway, they were talking that John Tavares, they're expecting him by later in the season that he's going to be, in quote, skating in sand like he does every year near the end of the year. Now, I pointed out that John Tavares actually scored almost 30 goals every season since he's been at Toronto Maple Leafs. Do you believe, or do you buy into this statement, what they were saying last night? And do you think John Tavares is going to be able to continue the way he's been playing just lately? Because he might be one of our best players, in my opinion, right now.
I just want to say one thing. I'm just glad that we're starting off this year with two good goalies. You know, it's been a long time since we've been able to go, yeah, we got two good goalies now. You know, so that's what I wanted to say about that. You know, Tavares, he doesn't really have to be the big strong goal guy anymore. I think he's all right. I think he'll be able to be out there and keep up with everybody and keep doing what he's doing. I think he'll be all right.
Okay, we're gonna go around the room. Let's start with you, Phil.
Well, a couple of years ago, Tavares went in and he really, I think, saw a decrease in his speed, and he went into the gym. He went onto the ice in the off season. He did a lot of bag skating. He did a lot of cardio and stuff to make sure. Over the last 2 years, you could see that he has not really lost a step, and he put in that work. And I think that, you know, I mean, these guys are professionals. Yeah, everyone loses a little bit as they age, but this guy's a professional. He's putting the work in. I think he's going to do just fine.
JT.
The other JT, he is he's a hockey smart guy. He's an athlete, he's a machine, and he's a seasoned veteran. And I don't think he's anywhere near on the backside of his career. I think he's still at the top of it. He's just finding new ways to do what he needs to do to help his team win games. And 60 minutes of a hockey game, he's not backing off. So he's gonna turn into a sand skater by the end. I think people are just feeding fodder and they're just causing drama that there doesn't need to be caused. JT's fine.
Joe.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, he's a point a game player since he's been a Leaf, and he's still doing that right now this season, despite being up and down the lineup. Is he going to have games where he's going to be a little bit slow and tired? Sure, the guy's 35 years old. Of course, there's going to be that up and down throughout the season. But he's a veteran. He's got a reputation for a reason. He's a hard worker. He'll always work to improve his game. And I think not having the C has only benefited him because now he can focus solely on his game and helping his teammates. So I'm not worried about him at all. In fact, I think after the season, I wouldn't mind seeing him back at a reduced rate to help move this team forward.
Well, thank you for saying that. We're going to get to that soon. And as far as the C goes, I seen an interview with Brian Burke, and he said, boy, did they take that 1,000-pound C off of Tavares' chest or what? And they landed it straight onto the Auston Matthews. Is Tavares actually faster than Matthews? Funny statement from Brian Burke. Gord, we're going to take your opinion on John Tavares. Is he going to be skating in sand, or do you think he actually does near the end of the season every year?
I don't think so. I think Brian Burke's right. They took the 1,000-pound C off him. He's been playing a lot quicker. Oh, is it better? There we go. Yeah, he's been playing better, and he's. I think he'll be fine. I think he hasn't dropped off much. He's gonna have his games. They all do, where they play kind of a little bit slower than they normally do as they get up there. But I mean, any of the players that are 35 plus right now, they're out there playing for the full 60 minutes. You're gonna get slower as you go. I think he's still gonna be a point a game player. I think it's just somebody trying to start up some drama to see what they can get the Leaf fans to react to, honestly. And most Leaf fans will react coming to the defense of somebody that was our captain for so long. And that's honestly what I think. I think he'll be fine.
Thank you. Okay, play GM, and we'll start with you, Phil. I've heard in my circles that John Tavares will not sign for anything less than half of what he's making. Guys, what do you think? Phil, what's your contract offer to John Tavares moving forward past this year?
So correct me if I'm wrong, but that would be 5.5.
You got it.
Oh, Is he worth 5.5 at 36 years old? I could see 3 to 4 being viable. I guess it'll maybe it goes up if he gets closer to that 30 goal mark or whatever, but I don't see him being worth 5.5 in my personal opinion.
Now, would you, to do that, to get him to bite on it, would you give him a longer term? Because we do have Robidas Island, which would actually drive the average year down. Instead of 3 at 5, maybe 5 at 3.
Yeah, and there's always the option for the long-term injury if his play starts dropping, or maybe it's more incentive-based that if he's hitting these goal marks and these point plateaus or whatever, that his contract, he gets bonuses or whatever. But I think for the hometown discount, if he wanted to see the team have a little bit more money to put into defense down the road, another forward, a younger, more productive guy, then hopefully he takes less money.
Okay, JT.
I'm thinking less for more. At 35 years old, he's got, especially the way he keeps himself, he's got a good 5 years left in him as a player. And, you know, like you said, if you have Robidas the back half of it, say give him 3.5 on 7 and see what he goes. His last 2 years probably be on the backside on an LTIR, but we'll still have him in the system. He could be there as a mentor, coach, as a whatever. I think you tie him up long term and just give him a solid paycheck for the next 7 years until he retires.
Yeah, you know what? I would love that idea. Joe, we can only see half your face, but
sorry, I'm back.
It's your turn. Contract for John Tavares moving forward.
Well, I think, and that's what I was looking up. I think I have heard that he has to be paid, at least he can't make less than half of what he's making because of what he made last year. So you're looking at 5.5. Guys, it's all going to depend on number 16 if we have the money, and it depends what we're doing with Mitch Marner. They'll have to decide on what they're doing with him first to see if they have the money for Tavares. So and you know, Matthew Nyes is going to get a big raise. If Anthony Stolarz comes back, he's going to get, you know, there's money that's got to go to other players right now. And I think we have to sit back and wait and see what they're doing with them. You got to prioritize. I think Matthew Nyes is a priority, and I think Mitch Marner is a priority to decide what we're doing with those two guys first. Whatever's left over of the pie, then we'll see if Tavares fits in that, or do we got to do subtraction?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's going to be sticky. So you're saying that you don't think they're going to negotiate in season. I believe Anthony Stolarz is signed to a 2-year. Is my belief. Am I right?
I believe so.
Okay. But yeah, you're right.
Doesn't stop them from re-upping him for another 3 years and a bigger price, right?
Yes, exactly. By sometime next year, we're definitely going to be doing that. Gord, your contract to John Tavares.
I'm gonna say pretty much the same thing that Joe said at 5.5. If they can't figure out Marner, Nyes, try and maybe lock up Stolarz for a little bit longer. I would say honestly, you might have to let him walk. At 5.5, I think you've got the younger guys coming up. You got Cowan shortly coming up. You got a Nyes, you got Marner, Stolarz. You got to look at it long term. I mean, as a mentor role, it'd be great, but I don't think they can pay him 5.5.
Yeah, George.
I'm thinking that Tavares, you know, he is 35 years old, and he's not going to want. I'm thinking he's not going to want to go looking for another team to get more money. I'm thinking he wants to find this home, and he wants to stay, and he'll take the cut, and he'll stay. He'll take the cut and he'll stay. I think he'll take the cut and he'll stay and help the team.
Yeah, I really hope that's what it comes down to. I've come really used to having John Tavares on our team, and as you can see with Auston Matthews not on the ice, Tavares was right there talking to the refs first. I know he wears the A, but he's an A that knows what a C it takes to wear a C. So I agree with you. Something that George brought up to me just the other day, which I didn't actually realize, Do you guys know the Leafs actually lead the NHL this year in back-to-back games? Now, do you find this a good thing or a bad thing? I believe George said they're talking Carolina 16 back-to-backs. Joe, with you, is this a benefit for Toronto, or do you think this is going to bite us in the butt in the long run?
No, I love back-to-backs. Love it. I have no issue with it. I think that, listen, in the old days in the playoffs, it was every other night. Now they don't do that, right? It was a long haul battle. So I love the back-to-backs. I can't wait. I wish there'd be more, to be honest with you.
Thank you. Phil?
My personal opinion is back-to-backs at home, I find are sometimes beneficial. Especially if you have a stinker in the first game and you're getting right back out there the second game, and you can really put the nails in the boards type of game. But those road back-to-backs, they're definitely a lot tougher when you got to travel and everything else. But it's a battle of nutrition. You find out at the end of the year if those are going to hurt us or not.
JT, we are running out of time, guys, so make your questions quick because I want to try and set up these next 2 games for us.
Back-to-backs are fine. They're conditioned athletes. We just played 3 and 4. The third game, you think they're going to come out gassed against Boston, and they came out and ran shot them. So, no, I don't. I think with the new playing style, it's they're not expelling as much energy. They're not burning themselves out. They're not as tired on their second half of a back-to-back. It's a different style of game, and they're conditioned for it. I'm all for it. Let her fly, boys.
George,
stagnant players are bad players. That's the problem.
Yeah,
I gotta say I agree with Phil. The home back-to-back, it kind of gives you a chance. If your first game you fall flat on your face, the second game you kind of come out with a little more energy. If you're traveling a bit back to back, like, if you're not staying like Toronto Montreal or Toronto Ottawa, in the circle area, you're traveling out of that, it's a little bit more difficult. But I think it gives them a chance to come out with that second game if they fall flat on their face. If not, they continue the momentum from game 1.
Yeah. And George,
I know when I was playing sports back to back, or if you messed up the first game, you're definitely there wanting to prove yourself for the second game. So yeah, back to backs are good, but again, those traveling can hurt you.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we're going to set up real quick. Our next 2 games are against the Ottawa Senators, Washington Capitals. Guess what? Back to back. Let's name our goaltenders. Will Joseph Woll get another shot after the win in Montreal, or will it go Stolarz? Then Woll? Does one goalie get both shots? Phil?
I think it's going to go back to Stolarz. I think he's proven to be the 1A of our duo. I think that he's earned the right. It was a great game by Woll. Great win last night, but I think it goes back to Stolarz. And you know what? It probably will be Woll the game after, just to make sure that they're not getting overplayed or whatever.
Joe?
Yeah, no, I agree. Stolarz is the guy against Ottawa, especially because that's our rival that beat us earlier in the season. So Stolarz will get that start. And then depending how he plays, we'll see about the next one. I don't know if they want to push Woll too much, but he certainly hasn't been pushed with only 20 shots. And I think a pretty decently easy game last night. I could see him taking the next one. Woll, I'm talking about.
Thank you. George?
Stolarz, Hill the Beast. I'm just joking. No, Stolarz, Woll. Stolarz, if he shuts them out, he might be right back there again.
Yeah. JT?
I'm just going to agree with everybody else. Stolarz on the first one, and I do believe they're just going to sub Woll in, regardless of how Stolarz plays. Woll will get that second start. It is a back-to-back. Got to remember, goalies aren't out there for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 18 minutes. They're out there for the entire time. They're on their feet. They're standing. They're out there the entire time. That's that wears on a goalie, and having them play, that's the only one I worry about. Back-to-back guys, and as I said, we have 2 strong goalies. We have a 1A, 1B tandem, so that does not hurt us at all.
No. And Gord, your opinion?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with everybody. I think Stolarz takes the game in Ottawa. I think they're going to want to come out hard like they did against Boston and against Montreal, take that game to Ottawa. And I think Wall will be in the second game. I think they're going to play this 1A, 1B back and forth for right now. Give Wall the extra day or so to relax and then have him come out against Washington.
Okay. And your prediction for both these games, Gord, I'll start with you. Game scores for game 1 and game 2.
I'm going to say Toronto 4, Ottawa 2, and I think they'll beat Washington 4-1.
George.
3-0 Ottawa. Washington, we'll say 3-1.
Phil.
I hate doing this. Well, we're on a 3-game winning streak right now. So let's say that we go. We'll go 3-1 against Ottawa, and let's say we go to Wall on the Washington game, and he has a stinker, and we end up losing that one 3-2.
Boo. JT. Who are you, Joe?
I just
4-1 against Ottawa, and I think it's going to be a little bit tighter of a game against Washington, and I'm calling that as a 3-2 win.
Yeah, Washington's playing pretty good this year. I do have to admit that much. Joe, you get the final call. Well, I guess I do, but Joe, your call.
We'll say 4-3 overtime win and for Leafs over Ottawa. Washington is a hot team right now. That one worries me a little bit. I'll say let's say it's a 3-2. For your sake, Ken, I'll say Leafs win. But if I was going to bet any money on it, I'd take Washington.
Yeah, I'm going 3-1 Leafs against Ottawa, and I say 4-3 in overtime. Auston Matthews gets that overtime goal and his return to playing for the Leafs. But then again, I think he might be back on Tuesday, so let's hope for that.
Doesn't look like it, Ken.
No? Well, we'll see.
Nope, doesn't look like it, at least from the reports they're putting out. If he plays, it'll be in Washington. They're going to give him the extra day to relax.
I know. So we'll see.
Yeah, he's back skating, but he hasn't taken any contact or any.
Fair enough. So
been on the
4-3, Auston Matthews in overtime. Thank you for fixing my. What am I trying to say? Well, guys, this has been so much fun. Joe, thank you so much for joining us on Leaf Fan Panel. I'm sure everyone here.
Thanks for having me, guys.
You're back on. Okay, I'm going to do a final roll call. Phil's sitting in with me here on Ken's Corner podcast today. Our special guest, Joe from Sports Timeout, is. We'll see Joe here again one day. Gord from downtown. George, all there. Is it snowing yet? And
Hey, no, I just want to say one more thing. You know, Calgary's road trip there did us a good favor. So go Flames, go.
yeah, that's true. And JT, it might be snowing in Thunder Bay before it is in Calgary. You guys have a good weekend. Hopefully next week we can get the jet lag back from Africa, Ian Greener back on with us. And who knows, maybe we'll have a special guest. I'll see what I can pull out. You guys, you have a great day. My name's Ken. And we're here on Ken's Corner in Leaf Fan Panel. Have a good game.
Have a good one, guys. Go Leafs, go.
Go Leafs, go. And go Argonauts, go.